Hi, my name is Tomas Vazquez, and today I will be shedding light on how the coronavirus has fundamentally impacted our everyday lives using concepts from sociology to help us understand this extraordinary situation. The COVID 19 pandemic has brought us about immense challenges, disrupting our social structures and institutions in profound ways. So let's get right into it. One key sociological concept that helps us comprehend the pandemic's impact is social structure. Social structure refers to the patterns of relationships and institutions that shape our daily lives. It includes the roles we play, the norms and values we adhere to, the hierarchy that governs our interactions. The arrival of the coronavirus swiftly altered these structures, dismantling the routines that we took for granted. So, virtual platforms and stuff like that became the new normal. The new normal norm. One prominent aspect of social structure that the pandemic has disrupted is our occupational roles. Many people found themselves abruptly transitioning to remote work or, unfortunately, losing their jobs altogether. The pandemic forced us to adapt to new work arrangements, rely on heavy technology to maintain productivity and connection. Okay. Social institutions. Social institutions such as healthcare systems, educational systems, and governmental bodies organize and guide our social behavior. The pandemic strained these institutions to their limits and revealing both strengths and weaknesses. I can remember whenever school was getting out and COVID it was actually about to start hitting. I can remember just thinking about, wow, when are we going to go back to school? And one of the key things that I was remembering, like so vividly, was school is never going to be the same. Like Zoom became the newest thing and became very just easy for everybody to use. And I could see how this played a big part in social institutions. All right, so healthcare institutions. How did this affect the healthcare system? The healthcare system, for instance, faced overwhelming demands, exploding disparities in access to care, and highlighting the fragility of public health infrastructure. The pandemic underscored the importance of equitable access to healthcare and the need for robust social policies to protect the most vulnerable among us. During this time, I do remember that there was a lot of people dying because of COVID. Um, we did take germs and everything more into consideration. Uh, a lot of toilet paper, Germex, things were being sold out, and it almost became impossible for a lot of people to get access to these things. So it did help in a way make us understand that we took these things for granted and yeah, that we shouldn't have took it for granted. All right, so let's do school institutions. So, furthermore, education institutions faced unprecedented disruption. Schools and universities shifted to online learning, just like I said before, leaving students and educators grappling with new modes of instructions. The shift exposed disparities in access to technology and highlighted the crucial roles of schools not only in education but also in providing essential services like meals and mental health support. So, what about social interactions? The concept of social interactions is vital to understanding the pandemic impact on our daily lives. Humans are inherently social beings, and our interactions with others shape our identities, values, and experiences. However, the pandemic necessitated physical distancing and isolation to curb the spread of virus. The disruption to our social interactions led to increased feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and a longing for connection. Moreover, the pandemic also amplified existing social inequalities, marginalized communities, including low income individuals, racial and ethnic minorities, and the elderly face disproportionate health and economic impacts. These disparities underscore the structural inequality embedded in our social societies, demanding our attention and collective action. During this time, I do remember that COVID did start a lot of riots. There were a lot of news headlines. I think this is when Black Lives Matter started. There was a lot of controversy going around, and yeah, that's it's crazy saying that I lived through it, but I lived through it. What is the most interesting thing that I learned? So, learning about socialization is in different age groups, from babies to adults, changed my perspective on a lot of things. It helped me understand why we are the way we are. So, what is socialization? Socialization is the lifelong process by which people learn the ways of society in which they live. More specifically, it is the process by which humans acquire a sense of self, society, or social identity, develop their human capacities, learn the cultures of the society in which they live in, and learn expectations for behavior. Socialization is not only one way process such that people simply absorb these lessons. It is a process by which people negotiate, resist, ignore, or even challenge those lessons. Okay, so in conclusion, the coronavirus pandemic has upended our everyday lives, altering social structures and institutions that shaped our existence. Concepts from sociology helped us make sense of these changes by highlighting the importance of the social structure, social institutions, and social interactions. As we navigate these challenging times, let us draw upon our sociological understanding to advocate for equitable access to healthcare, support our educational institutions, and address the systemic inequalities that the pandemic has laid bare. Only through these collective efforts and a commitment to social justice can we rebuild a more resilient and inclusive society. So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching this video. And if the if our professor plays this in class, thank you so much for listening.